Get great deals throughout the store at Safeway. This week at Safeway, get mega packs of bone-in USDA choice beef New York strip steaks for $5.97 per pound with digital coupon. Limit 2 packages. Plus, Haas avocados are 10 for $10. Member price. Also, this week at Safeway, mix or match 12 packs of 12-ounce cans or 8 packs of 12-ounce bottles of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, 7-Up, or Dr. Pepper are buy 2, get 3 free. Limit 3 free items. Member price plus CRV. Visit Safeway.com or head in store for more deals.
Anthem Blue Cross and Common Threads are helping schools across the country learn about healthier food preparation. And here in LA, they're joined by the Sparks and will provide education, recipes, and knowledge to students and families about healthier options. Learn more at anthem.com/ca/sparks. Anthem Blue Cross is the trade name of Blue Cross of California.
Hi, this is Crystal Hardison from Southeastern Livingston Center. I'm the director, and you are listening to Local Leaders, the podcast.
Hey everyone, it's Jim Chapman with Local Leaders, the podcast, and I want to make you aware of a fantastic deal they have going on right now at Fit Body Boot Camp in Denham Springs, Louisiana. If you go to the link getfitdenhamsprings.com/local leaders, you can get $30 off of the regular price of $129 for 30 days of classes. Go to the link, click it, sign up. 30-day classes for only $99 through that link. It's a special deal offered to all of our listeners at Local Leaders, the podcast. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Local Leaders, the podcast. And today, sitting across from me, I have a very special lady. Everybody around here knows her, and if you don't, you're living under a rock in all likelihood. Miss Shannon Bernard, Regional Vice President of Primerica. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Jim.
I'm honored to have you sitting in front of me today. I've been wanting to get you on here for a while. You're married to, of course, Steve Bernard. And he has always told me, you really need to get my wife on your show. How long have you been married to Steve?
We will be married 31 years in June.
31 years. And so we also have an award for that, and we'll be giving you that after the show as well. Just kidding. And you have 2 children, Chase and Bella.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about them.
Well, Chase is 26.
Yep.
Works for us, for Steve at Client Technology Services.
Yes.
And is very involved as an actor as well.
Yes, he is, and has great hair, I'll add.
He has wonderful hair.
From a bald guy?
Yeah.
That's a compliment.
So he's very talented and a great young man.
Yes.
And Bella, of course, is much younger. She's 12, almost 13. In the 7th grade at Westside.
Okay, yeah.
And is involved in just about everything.
Everything she can, your whole family's involved in a lot of things, and which is very important, I think, these days, that you keep, obviously, kids involved in things and adults as well, and something that in some aspects may be missing from communities, but y'all do a great job. And I have met Chase several times. B&I, he's in a B&I, Livingston Leaders, and right. And really just a very mannerly young man. So y'all did a good job.
Well.
He was trained well. Yes, indeed. So let's talk about community a little bit. That's the first thing that stood out when I kind of looked over your questionnaire that I sent you. And you're about as active in the community as anyone I've ever come across. You and Steve both, really. Y'all are both very active. First, you're not only a member of the Livingston Parish Chamber, but since 2007, you've served on its board of directors. And I want to kind of, I'm going to say kind of a mouthful here, but you've served as the education chairperson since 2010. In 2013, you were the chair lady, I guess I would call it, of the board. So my question here is two-part. First, how valuable has it been to you personally to serve on these boards amongst your peers in business from an education standpoint? And second, how much emphasis would you put on the importance of business people supporting their local chamber in general? And April Wares did not ask me to ask you any of that. I came up with that on my own.
Well, here's my Chamber of Commerce story. I had been in business since, 92. Got married in 91. Started with Primerica in 92. And I feel like I did everything I needed to do, was working my business the right way. But at one point, I decided I wanted to expand. Chase, at that time, I only had one child. He was in junior high. He was active, but pretty much took care of himself. And I thought this is the time to expand and do more business in my community. So the first place I looked was to the Chamber of Commerce. I joined the Livingston Parish Chamber of Commerce, which is one of the best organizations to join to build your business and to get involved in your community, which I've done both of those. Yes. So that was my reason. Fell in love with the people that you meet and get involved with, and immediately you can join the chamber, and it's a huge benefit for your business just being a member. There's a lot of advocacy that goes along with the chamber, but I'm one of these that likes to get very involved. So I found the education committee that was a great fit for me, and I was on every committee the year that I was the chairman. So got a taste of everything. Enjoyed the governmental affairs and legislature committees. Stayed on that one and a couple of others. So it's been very rewarding. I build relationships for a living. Yeah. So that's how I do business.
Yes, and probably the best, in my humble opinion, the best way you can do business
absolutely
is a relationship. I spent a lot of years in the paint sales world, and the one thing that people couldn't get from anybody else was me. And I used to tell them that all the time. The relationship that you build, to me, you're kind of building loyalty as well. And if you take care of your customers, they take care of you and that type of thing. So very good. And you mentioned committees. You've also served on various committees throughout your, I guess, tenure at the chamber, whatever you want to call it. Education, ambassador, government, which you mentioned, events, even executive committees. I look at those who serve on committees as a good way for our leaders to kind of give back, right? They're not getting paid technically to serve on these committees. They do it out of the goodness of their heart, and because maybe they want to learn more about dealing with others, working with their peers, those sorts of things. Now, how important would you say giving back is to leadership?
Well, I think in order to get, you should give, and that it's makes it more natural. And that's what I was looking for in building my business. I wanted it to be very natural. I love to serve. I love to give. I love to be involved. And so naturally the business comes to me.
Yes.
I want to make an impact on my community. I was a teacher for a few years.
Yeah.
And that's what led me to help with the education committee. I'm very aware of what goes on in the school system and where a lot of the needs are, and want to make an impact. And this was a great way to do that.
100%. And you're also a graduate of the inaugural class of Leadership Livingston.
Yes.
Some of the grads, for people, and I'll tell you, this inaugural class, I researched it after I saw you were a graduate, and just right off the bat, Leighton Ricks, parish president, Jason Orr, the sheriff, Derek Babcock, very active in politics, Kim Sanders, another active chamber member, April Wares, the CEO of the chamber, Jerry Denton, the judge, Bobby Font, the former mayor of Walker, Shelby Carnahan, famous, world famous, you'll love I'm saying this, CPA, and of course Shannon Bernard, amongst several others from that amazing class. I mean, that, I was the 2020 class, which I would say was an amazing class. Steve would say 2016 was the best class, as he always tells me.
2013.
Or 2013, yeah. So there was a lot of classes in Leadership Livingston, and probably all of them are just amazing, I'm sure. First of all, what was your experience like in Leadership Livingston, and what did your group do as a community project?
We were the very first class. So I was there when and of course I was on the board at the time. So I got to see the building of the leadership program, which was very interesting. April had a vision, and I got to see a lot of that vision from the outset. Our team, our group, did a project with Mighty Moms, and at the time, Mighty Moms needed some assistance with awareness, visibility. So we put barrels out around the parish and did a lot of work with their website. I think we had some very technical people on our team, and we just hands-on activity, putting barrels out, taking up donations, and helping them get the word out.
Very good. And of course, Mighty Mom's a wonderful charity, local right here to Livingston Parish. We shout them out as often as possible. Just great people over there. So Leadership Livingston also, and I concur, for me, it was an opportunity to work with my peers and people in the community that were like-minded in a lot of situations as myself. And in the end, it wasn't just about maybe learning how to be a better leader, which you did, but it was also about giving back, which, when you're an old sales guy like me, and you spend all these years and you always want to hit that number one, and there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes you need some balance with what you're giving back to your community as you're taking from. And that was something for me that I learned from that class. And had a very positive influence on my life in a lot of ways.
It was nice to have something to work on together.
Yes.
And we're still really proud of what we were able to do. And I love a fit body where I work out.
Yes.
Is taking up macaroni and cheese for Mighty Moms. And I think, we've had a part of that. My church takes up donations, and they were introduced to Mighty Moms back when I was on the Leadership Livingston team. Yes.
And just a great organization. You're right. Fit Body Boot Camp is the sponsor of the show. Very good people over there. And you go to the early classes, I'm sure.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I definitely don't.
You're not there, Jim.
No, I'm a late guy. Sandra Richard has been in the business of selling homes for over 20 years. This award-winning realtor brings the perfect blend of professionalism, integrity, and client satisfaction to every buying and selling transaction. A passion for both her clients and her community makes Sandra the perfect choice when buying or selling your home. So if you're in need, call the Cajun Lady, Sandra Richard, at 225-955-5484, or visit her on the web at sandrasellshouses.com. Sandra Richard, a proud sponsor of Local Leaders, the podcast. So continuing on your community and your service, you volunteer your amazing talent that you have with the piano in different ways. And first question I have is, how did you end up playing the piano? Tell me that story.
Oh, I was very young, and I remember, in church watching someone play the piano. I don't remember my first exposure, but my mother wishes she had played the piano. So for my 7th birthday, I had been asking for a piano probably for a year or two. I even remember a girl in my first grade class getting some kind of award for playing in a piano contest. So I came home my 7th birthday from school, and there's a piano. So my mother made sure that I knew how to play piano. Her goal was so I could play in church.
Yes.
and I did. But I also went to college and majored in piano performance.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So first of all in education, and then performance. Also got a master's in pedagogy, which is teaching.
Okay.
And I always assumed I'd open a music school, something to do with music.
Yeah.
Ended up getting out and going back to school and getting certified to teach. So I taught high school music. But my instrument was always piano.
Yeah.
So
Very good. Can you play any other instruments, or is it?
I had played in band,
Yeah.
so I was in the Walker High Band way before it was the Band of Legacy.
Come
We had
on.
about 30 people in our band.
They have
This
an
was a long
amazing
time
band
ago.
now.
Yes, they're amazing.
Oh, they really are. And that's from a Denham Springs guy. So shout out Walker Wildcat Band.
Absolutely.
Y'all are
Both
amazing.
of my kids are in the band, so
Yes.
I love that I've been able to raise them with music. Chase, I talked about him acting.
Yes,
There were, and he played the piano. I say he had to play the piano because they're my kids.
sure.
He was in a couple of productions, and they, of course, had to have somebody that could sing and somebody that could play, and, of course, he gets the parts. I said, it pays off.
It really
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
Yeah, and hard work too. It's interesting. My daughter plays the flute and is a
I heard her at the symphony.
she Miss Shannon. I can't tell you how much she loves it. It's and it's funny because my wife never played the flute. I played the trumpet in middle school, but when I was in high school, I had to pick either that or football, and I picked football.
That's
But
what happened.
I wish I would have picked trumpet.
Yeah.
I really do. Well, I was going to ask you this question later, but since we're on the subject, I'm going to ask it now. One of the things that I personally find missing from this community, and it was important to me that I get your take on this, is there is not a true performing arts building here in Livingston Parish. It's something that I'm currently doing a ton of research on. I would love to see this. I think that not only your bands, but your actors and actresses, your choirs, which you're active in, those sorts of things, a true sound friendly building. A gym is nice, but it is very echoey. It's
No, it's not. It's
yeah,
not.
I'm trying to be somewhat correct, but and the way I experienced this and got this thought was Southeastern has a building, and I forget the name of it now, but my daughter has played in it several times.
Columbia Theater.
No, it's something hall. I know that doesn't tell you anything, but it's at Southeastern's older building, and
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I can't think of the name of it, but it's sound friendly, very sound friendly. And there is a huge difference in that sound when you're listening to it. Choirs, I would imagine, would be the same way. Do you see a need for that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I just had a conversation with someone about this, and they're in the music community. Piano recitals, choir concerts. Right now, we all drive to Watson. We go to Live Oak Methodist Church, and we have our chorale concerts. This is Livingston Parish Children's Choir. I'm on the board there as well, and my daughter's in that choir. There is nowhere in Livingston Parish where we can have. We just did a performance for the choir, and we had it out at the Green Barn, which was fun. It fit. It was medieval.
Yes.
Fundraiser.
Yes.
But there needs to be somewhere where we can have performances
I
sound
agree.
friendly and performing arts friendly.
I agree, and that's something that I want to see that.
We need to get together on that.
Yeah, we definitely do. Hey, y'all, there's nothing that frustrates this podcaster more than when I have IT problems. And when I have IT problems, I call Client Tech Services. What makes them different? They don't want you to need them. Every day they work diligently to ensure that the technology you rely on to run your business is secure, up to date, running smoothly, and helping you succeed. In a perfect world, that would mean that no server ever crashed, no virus ever downloaded, and no hardware ever failed. But let's face it, these things happen. And when they do, I make Client Tech Services the first call I make. So give them a call today if you're having IT problems at 225-572-2111. Or check them out on the web at client-tech.com. That's client-tech.com. Client Tech Services, they make their competitors fish food, and they're proud sponsors of Local Leaders, the podcast. Music in general, it's something that you've had a love for since you were very, very young, and so that's something that, yeah, we definitely need to talk about later.
Okay.
But very good piano. I would love to go hear you at your church play the piano one day. You play for your church? You
no,
volunteer?
That's actually, I do play some, but everything is a little bit more technologically advanced.
Yeah.
So that's moving on to the next generation. So you'll have to hear me somewhere else.
Alrighty then. I wanted to mention you are also an emergency foster parent.
Yes.
So tell me what that is.
I originally got involved with foster care as a respite and emergency foster care parent. And it was to be, because I just assumed I was done with having children.
Yes.
As you know, I adopted my daughter, so that's the end of the story. But to go back to how that happened, I wanted to be able to help, but at that time my business had taken off. I thought I had not a lot of time, but I knew I could take care of a child for a short period of time. And what that involves is being available short notice, sometimes in the middle of the night. There's a need. Livingston Parish has a huge need still for foster parents, and it can be the emergency care, the respite care. We took care of a little boy for a week while the family went on vacation, but he was not able to go, and he thought he was having birthday parties. He had a vacation at our house.
Yeah.
And so we did things like that. I did have a couple of very short-term but emergency cases while they found someone that could take the cases for a longer period of time. That's what the emergency and respite care involves. But foster care in general, there's a huge need.
Yeah.
And that's why I have my daughter. You know, I got the call one afternoon about a baby, and I gave the same answer, was I just don't know. But tell me about the child. I want to pray for him. I want to see what I can do. And just something told me I needed to do this.
Wow.
And she's almost 13.
How about that? Very amazing story. Let's talk about your business a little bit.
Sure.
The other side of what you do. Everything in your community is just amazing. I was blown away from that. And then I got into your business a little bit, so to speak, and you're currently a regional vice president at Primerica. So I'm sure there's a winding road that got you there. And when we talked shortly before this, we kind of discussed that. How did you end up making Primerica your career for 30 years now?
Well, I was a teacher and had 3 part-time jobs.
3?
And, yes. I did a little bit of everything. Most of them involved teaching and music.
Yes.
But not very flexible. So I taught high school. I would leave my high school job and drive across town, start teaching preschoolers about 30, 40 minutes later. I fit private students in between and also worked at my church. So that was a lot of time, pretty much 7 days a week I was working. So something had to give. It needed a little flexibility. I let go of one of those jobs, and, that's about $600 or $700 a month, and that was 30 years ago. So that was a big deal.
Sure.
And but I just didn't have the time to do everything I was doing. That's when Primerica came along, and I loved the idea that this company wanted to educate me about money.
Yes.
And give me an opportunity to have a business.
Yeah.
So I took them up on it.
Yeah.
Intending to just learn about money, really, to be honest. I was a music teacher.
Right.
And I did both for 2.5 more years while I worked on my promotion. It took me about 6 months to decide that I could do this and have a real business. But the luxury that Primerica afforded me was to be able to keep my full-time job while I got my feet under me.
Yeah.
So fully licensed, fully trained, and then when I was ready, I made it my career. And at the time, I didn't have children, so I became a vice president and then started my family. So it was very family friendly. I was able to have the flexibility and the income to be able to raise my son at the time. And it was just a fabulous opportunity. And I did learn about money.
Yes. Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
And stay there, you did. 30 years.
And I get to teach other people about how money works and how to do the right things and make make it pay off for them.
Yes, very good. And, when you started there some 30 years ago, females in leadership roles, I would imagine, were not as prevalent as they are today. Tell us about the Women in Primerica program. Greenleaf charcuterie boards offer stunning charcuterie arrangements perfect for your special event and provides delivery for a hassle-free order experience. Their unique, wide variety of charcuterie boards are like no other. From your traditional charcuterie board to the Chantilly dessert board to the Cajun board, they've got something for everybody. And ladies, Valentine's Day is right around the corner, so if you're looking for gift ideas, they've got an amazing prime filet steak board. And fellas, don't forget about their Valentine's board for your sweetheart. For more information or to visit them on the web, go to greenleafcharcuterieboards.com. Greenleaf Charcuterie Boards is a proud local sponsor of Local Leaders, the podcast.
Women in Primerica was started several years after I was a vice president. And I want to back up and say that the woman that introduced me to Primerica,
Yes.
we were part of the 17% of women in Primerica, 17% of the licensed representatives.
Wow.
And now it's over 62%. But I'm thankful,
It's
first of
amazing.
all, that Becky Cowart, who's a former teacher, introduced me to Primerica, along with someone else that's in our office. We all work together, female office, but we're very diverse. We have men, we have people from a lot of different backgrounds, but
Sure.
it started with us. Mary Bellinger was a kindergarten teacher and she was president of some teachers' organizations. So we all worked together and built our organization in this male-dominated field.
Yes.
But about 1996, Women in Primerica organized itself because there were some other female leaders in Primerica that decided they wanted to see women really excel and be successful. So these women started and organized Women in Primerica.
Wow.
And it is a phenomenal organization. So I was at some of the early meetings where we got off to a good start, but now they're huge.
Yes.
And men do come into those meetings. So
Yes.
because they want to lead women and they need to know how you build a business with men and women.
Yeah.
So this organization now, I'm part of the advisory council for the Women in Primerica for the company. And for the third year in a row, we're now one of the best, this is from Forbes, one of the best employers for women.
Wow.
It's a phenomenal.
Third year in a row, too.
Third year in a row.
So that's consistency.
Yes.
And a beautiful thing. And one of the things we're here to celebrate today is women. And, you think back, it blows my mind personally to think back there. It wasn't too long ago, the women didn't even have the right to vote. Is that not bizarre?
Yeah.
And first of all, horrible. But second of all, just bizarre to think that wasn't that long ago.
And I think there are a lot of young women that don't even think about that because for their lifetime, we've had a lot of opportunities, but we need to realize that we have come a long way. And there's a lot of opportunity that our mothers didn't have. But, I had a great example in my mom. She helped build a business with my dad.
Yes.
And so she worked and took care of kids. I don't know how she did it. She's super woman.
Yeah. And, correct. And a lot of families now, they're dual working families. 50 years ago, that was, I guess, more rare. Women, as they realized, how much they bring to the table. Let's face it, men are weak compared to women. I don't care what anybody says. And I'm a man, but let me tell you, we cry over the big, just the biggest things that women are like, please, try pregnancy or whatever, and all of those sorts of things. But
We wouldn't have very many children.
yes. No. And and that's something I firmly believe. Women are just smart, tough human beings that are now getting more of the respect that they deserve. But surprising stat here, and it's something that you supplied me with. You stated that 66, and I would imagine you got this stat from somewhere, but I didn't write it. 66 women for every 100 men are in leadership roles. So basically a little more than half, which is good compared to probably 30 years ago, but still a long way to go, right? Absolutely. Yeah.
And women have talents that I think we don't even realize ourselves. So we need to be in leadership.
Yes. Yes, 100%. And I do want to discuss a little bit about Primerica itself. So if somebody's listening out there and they're like, oh, this is a great thing. Maybe there's another female listening and she's thinking, I want to work somewhere. And, I'm in that situation you just mentioned where you were. Give me kind of the elevator pitch of what Primerica is for someone that might not be familiar.
It's about education, about money for middle-income Americans. We help the wealthy, but there are a lot of people knocking down the doors of the wealthy to take care of their money.
Sure.
So we help middle-income families and business owners become debt-free, properly protected, and financially independent.
Yes. You lead a team personally of 15 representatives and play a critical role, I would say, in developing leaders at Primerica. What do you personally look for in a leader relative to what traits they may possess?
Well, that's interesting because I probably wouldn't have thought of myself as a leader when I started. So we develop leaders. Mm-hmm. We provide, and this is one of the things that I love about being involved with Primerica. There are lots of opportunities to learn and become better.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be a leader.
Yes.
You become a leader.
I love that.
And I think that's starting with, what are you reading? What are you doing every day? What are you committing your time to? Surrounding yourself with the right people, those kind of things. So you don't have to walk in and have everything together.
Yes, very good. And I love you use the word develop. Mm-hmm. You develop leaders. Retirement, let's talk about that. Obviously, that's a critical thing. The issue I see with business owners, and I really want to get your opinion on this, is a lot of business owners have two problems. Number one, insurance is expensive, right? Health insurance. And so a lot of people don't become entrepreneurs because they don't have access to affordable health insurance. So they stay with whatever corporation they're with. And there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes it will keep someone from making that jump to entrepreneurship. Something that I personally would like to see a better solution for. Another thing is the retirement aspect of things. But there are options for people that are small business owners as far as retirement, right?
That's correct. And I think you have to design your plan for yourself. It's very individualized. Mm-hmm. But I remember when I left teaching, because teaching, you have retirement, you have all of these things that are there for you.
Yes.
So I had to go out and figured out how I was going to do that for myself.
Yeah.
And, we own another business. So it's possible.
Yes, very possible. And
sometimes you do a better job for yourself than anybody else would do.
That's a great point. Yeah, very true. So if you need any more information on all that, I imagine you have a website, Primerica.com or something that
Primerica.com, and you can Google Primerica Shannon Bernard, Primerica.com Shannon_Bernard.
Very good. And I'll put that in the description of this video so they don't have to stop and write it. Okay. You can just click on that link in the description, folks, and you'll see that. Now, in the questionnaire I sent you, I asked you about overcoming challenges, especially as it relates to women in business. Okay. You stated, and I want to read this verbatim, and I'm going to try to do this without my glasses, y'all. I'm a very optimistic person, and I have had fantastic role models, both male and female. However, I realize women in general have challenges unique to them. I handle these by having a very strong work ethic and establishing a support system within my business and personal relationships. I tend to want to do everything myself just to get it done. I know how that feels. But I think it's important to recognize when you need help and accept assistance when it's offered. We need to find reasons to showcase the talents, abilities, and accomplishments of women. I can't say it any better than that. Yeah, you said that, Ms. Shannon Bernard. And I can't agree with the statement anymore. And here at Local Leaders, the podcast, actually, we're doing our part. So with that, and in honor of your amazing contributions to the Livingston Parish community, we are honored to present you this plaque, which recognizes you as a 2022 Local Leader Leading Lady. Thank you very much. And Tiffany has that plaque for you right there. That's something that we're doing to celebrate our leading ladies in this parish. And you are definitely a leading lady. Well deserved, and great job, Miss Shannon Bernard. It's not an Oscar, but it's close.
I love it. That's an honor. Thank you very much.
You're very, look, it's an honor to sit down and talk to you. And before we get out of here, we ask you to do some fun facts for us.
Okay.
And just kind of lets our listeners know a little fun stuff about you. So I asked some off-the-wall questions, like if you purchased a yacht, what would you name it? And you said Bella Chase. Very good.
Yes.
Perfect. I think it's perfect. And Steve is probably like, well, I think she should name it Steve. But
no, I might let him ride on the yacht with me.
That's right. Dream job when you were 12. I own my own business, and look at you. I mean, you have just cruised through life. Up you go. And it's a beautiful thing. And what a beautiful mentor for somebody else to have who's watching this show. If you could have any superpower, you said super speed. That's a great one. And I would love to have that myself. You said do more faster, right? Yes, indeed. If you could travel anywhere in the world, you said France, and you're actually going there pretty soon.
No, Chase is going without me.
Oh, he's going without you.
I would go with him if I could.
Well, you know, Chase, you should bring your mama with you. Very good. Well, he's going, and he'll take lots of pictures and make you jealous. There you go.
I'm excited for him.
So very good. I appreciate having you on. We'd like to get you on some other time and really dive deep into maybe the part of Primerica business, that other things that y'all do there and all of that. But thank you so much for being a leading lady in this community for so many years. We really do appreciate that. I do want to thank the sponsors of Local Leaders Podcast. We could not do any of this without all of you. And once again, I'm Jim Chapman, reminding you, love your community, support local business, and keep leading. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from, with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
When you wake up well-rested on a great mattress, everything becomes clear.
I do have a favorite child.
Things you missed when you were tired finally reveal themselves.
I use memes as a coping mechanism.
It's Mattress Firm's once-a-year sale and clearance. Get up to 60% off select Sealy, plus a free adjustable base, all with free and fast delivery. Deals this big won't last long, so don't miss out. The right mattress matters. We'll find yours. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.